not recording yet.
It is. See the numbers rolling?
Okay.
It is.
Hi, Miss Denise.
there.
How you doing?
Hi.
Oh,
Nice to meet you. I'm Denise.
Yes, have a seat.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, Miss Denise. I saw your intake sheet, and
Yeah.
I saw what you wrote down. In it, you said you had challenges on your job that is stressing you out.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about those challenges you're facing?
Sure. So I've been doing kind of the same type of work for a while, and I've been in the same office with the same company for a while. And I know that there's only so much I can do in my job, so I'm kind of looking to do some new things. But at the same time, I feel like I can't leave that job. I feel like I need it because it's comfortable, it's safe, I have some seniority. But at the same time, it kind of upsets me, some of the things that happen, and I kind of feel like I'm really stuck.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that you're settling. You're settling for that job. And if you had your way, you wouldn't be doing the job.
Yeah, I really want to find another job, and I've actually gone back to school, and I've interviewed for some other jobs, and 2 of the jobs I thought I was going to get. I even got called back for like a second and third interview, but then I wasn't selected as the final candidate, and that has really made me doubt my skills and what I can do. And then another job that I looked at was actually a good friend of mine. Works for a similar company, and she had the opportunity to start a new office, and she went out of her way to ask me if I'd like to take that job and be the director, and I was so excited. She told me that this opportunity was perfect. We've always wanted to work together again. We worked together a long time ago. So I did the interview. I thought it was basically kind of a formality, and then she called me and said, how would you feel about being a different job position at my company? And I said, oh, well, that isn't what I want. We talked about you have this new opportunity, and this would be the perfect job for me. And she said, well, actually, there's another candidate who has more experience, and I wasn't anticipating that someone else like that would apply. And I went, oh, so now you want me to take the other job. So I've just had a number of real big setbacks. Yeah, it's been really upsetting, and I almost feel like I can't take that anymore, and so I'm kind of stuck, and I don't know what to do with working.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear about you not getting the job you were looking forward to.
Yeah.
What is really wrong with your present job? Why don't you like the job? Why are you over it?
Yeah, so part of what's happened is since I've been in the job, I've learned new skills and had opportunities to get extra trainings. And my company even kind of started it. After I'd been there for a few years, they sent me to New York City to get some extra training.
That's
and
great.
Came back, yeah, and they were hoping to kind of open a new clinic within the company where I work, but that didn't work out. There were some budget things that happened and some changes in leadership, and so that never happened.
Okay.
But when I learned, part of what I got to do is learn to train other people. It kind of opened up a new window for me.
Yes.
Yeah, a new avenue, a new skill set I have. So I've trained within my company, and I've trained some other people, but there's really not another way for me to use these skills.
That's in your present job.
In this current job,
so in other words,
yeah.
There's no more growth opportunity for you in this job.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding.
Okay.
And I've gone to my direct supervisor, and I've gone to the director of our program, and I've even gone to the executive director of our larger company and talked about wishing that there were more
opportunities for you.
Yeah, more
Like
opportunities for everyone, not even just for me, but just feeling like it's a missing piece in human service.
So everybody's stunted. No one is developing career-wise or growth-wise?
Well, right. It seems like everybody's really happy just kind of staying where they are. And my direct supervisor even said to me, I was talking with someone who said it's so hard to stay in the same job for a long time, but, how do you stay fresh? And she kind of said that to me, like, how do you stay fresh? And I sort of thought, well, isn't that your job as my supervisor to help me think about how the work can stay motivating and stay, something that I care about?
Interesting.
Right. and I talked with the director and I kind of proposed, here's an idea of something I could do. Could I try it? He said, okay, let's try it. I did it for a few weeks. I was supervising another person kind of doing orientation, which was a new role. Usually the director would do orientation of new staff. But he said, I think you can orient new staff. It uses your training skills. You've done this. You're very familiar with the materials. That person left the company only after a few weeks.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't a right match for
Fit
her.
for them, yeah.
Right. So it had nothing to do with me, and it had nothing to do with the orientation. But that was the end of it. That was the end of the new opportunity.
The new parts.
Right. So I don't want to keep going to people and saying, hey, can I have a new opportunity?
So that's why you want to look elsewhere.
Yeah. And I've even had the bad experience of my supervisor. I kind of said to her, wow, within this, I wish I could have some more choices in the cases I get, some cases that were challenging. And she sort of said, this is a dead-end job for you. Maybe you should look for another job.
Oh my God, that was harsh.
Yeah.
So, how has this affected your personal life?
So I don't feel like I'm very worthy, and I'm kind of embarrassed to talk about the work I do. I have a lot of friends who I studied with and friends from my community who have moved up and they're directors, or they have, I've been in the work world for about 20 years, so most people like that have they're supervisors, and they also get paid a higher rate for having the experience, and I don't have any of that. So I kind of don't like to talk about the work that I do. I think what I do is kind of bury myself in working with each family and the things that I can feel really good about, but it's kind of like I have to hide that part of me.
I know, and that's not easy to do.
Also, my husband has been unemployed a couple of times, which were just circumstances of the economy, and he works for some startup companies that often get bought.
Okay.
And so we've kind of learned that that's sort of what's happening for him, but it's hard when he's in between jobs because our insurance changes, our cash flow changes. We've had to change doctors because our insurance changed. It's really stressful.
That's a lot to take.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take. So, after your interviews and you've not gotten the job, do you think there's anything you're supposed to do differently?
I don't know. That's one of the things I've been wondering is what did I do wrong and what's wrong with me? Like, why am I not the right candidate? And am I not selling myself the right way, or am I not looking hard enough? Like, I don't know. I've just really felt like it's a reflection of me not being better. Maybe not as good as I think I am.
Is that affecting your self-worth?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like I kind of have given up in a sense because I don't feel like anybody cares that I have things.
And you don't think there's anything you can do within your reach that could make a difference?
Everything I've had to do myself at my job. So I've started some new programs. I have started even a peer-to-peer group where we can talk with one another about how hard the work is, and we can kind of reflect on our work and how to become better clinicians. Because I feel like if the leaders aren't going to do it, we can at least kind of support one another. But I almost resent that now because I've been doing it for a while.
And that's not paid off.
Well, it feels really good. I like helping my other clinicians, but it's almost like the same work where I'm helping people, but there's no recognition. I don't get money.
Doesn't improve you in any way.
I mean, even if they were to give me a title of like senior, what I do, I would feel like so much more endorsed.
Yeah, of course, encourage and appreciate it.
Right. And instead, they kind of do, here's a certificate for working here for 10 years, and that's it. And everybody gets one on their work anniversary, and it's like it doesn't matter. There's even some people who don't do a very good job, and I kind of find like some of us are covering up for their poor work, but they still keep the job, and they're considered the same title that I am, even though we're very different.
They've not merited it.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't earned it, and it's sort of like, why do I want to work here if I'm equated with that low? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, have you talked to those your friends that you said are doing better on their jobs? Have you asked them how they get the jobs, how they change the jobs, or how did they come to where they are? Have you tried talking to any of them?
No, I haven't really, because a lot of what I find happens is people work at our company and then they go work for a completely different field.
Mm-hmm.
So I work with little kids and families, and so sometimes people will work with us and then they'll go work at a hospital or
Okay.
they'll go work in a school system. And I don't have the same kind of credentials to be
Okay,
able
the background they have.
yeah. So my background's in education, so I
Okay.
really I can do
You are
education.
limited, yeah, you're
Right,
limited.
right.
Okay.
But I have gone back to school, and I even
Okay, I hear you say that.
did some additional
Mhm.
study, and I hoped that would help me, and that just made it even more frustrating because I think I had even more leadership skills, but couldn't find the right kind of position that fit.
Okay.
So I'm in school now. I'm actually studying kind of mental health and counseling. Because it's a lot of what I already do is I help parents and I help kids. So,
but just that you don't have the certificate to back it up.
right, I don't have a
Okay.
license. I can't do private practice. I can't bill insurance. So I feel like I've done everything I can do, but it's still really hard to go to this job because I don't like it, and I kind of feel like
Unappreciated and all.
yeah, it makes me feel
You're not
worse.
motivated,
And
I
it's
know.
hard, even though I have to do it for the money, I almost feel like I just want to quit because it would feel better to quit than to keep doing this job that feels like it doesn't take care of me.
So, in this school you're in now, how far have you gone and how long more are you going to be in
So
school?
I'm getting ready to do my internship in the next few months.
Okay.
I'm taking a practicum class that's really getting me ready for that, and that's going to be a lot of hours. I've already worked for a while, so I feel pretty comfortable with the practicum work, and I feel like I'm ready for the internship. I'm almost more ready than it's going to let me be.
Okay.
I don't know exactly when I'm going to finish my classes because I've looked at how many courses I need to take, and it's like 4 courses left.
Okay.
And if they're offered and I can fit them in my schedule, it'll be kind of like next year. This time next year, I think I'll be done with the school.
Okay, you're almost there.
I guess. I can kind of see the end of things.
So how are you able to balance the challenges of your job and academics? How do you go about that?
It's tricky. It's tricky because the nice thing is that work I don't have to think about too much because I've been doing it a while. I know the routines and what's expected, and I can kind of judge exactly how long things will take me to do. So I don't have to think about it a lot, and that lets me look at schoolwork, which I can be more challenged and think about learning new skills. I can read about something I've never done before, and I can think of how I'll use it in my work, but I don't have to apply it, and nobody's judging me about if I'm doing it well or not.
You're working at your pace.
Right, exactly. And I can also pick things that I'm really interested in, whereas at work I just kind of have to do whatever's given to me, and it's really just to get the money at the end of the day. It's not putting something on my resume. It's not
just
something,
to keep you afloat.
Yeah, to allow me to go to school kind of and pay for.
So when you're done from school, is that going to change your situation?
I don't know. I hope so. I mean, that's part of the reason I'm going to school. I hope that I'll be able to do more and find a place that thinks that I have things to offer.
It's more challenging too and more interesting.
And I'm
for
hoping
you.
I'll have more different choices that kind of are
it
the things.
Broadens the choices you have to choose from.
Right. I know that in the beginning I'll just have to kind of work and do supervised hours because I have to earn a license. But at that point, I could stop working for the other job.
Other
jobs,
I guess. That's one you're tired of right now.
Yeah, the one that really is kind of making me feel worse instead of helping me to feel good.
So, I mean, from what you have said, you're on the right path. I mean, you're working towards achieving those things that you're not getting right now.
Yeah.
And what I see now is you trying to balance what you have now, at least to keep you going till when you finish your school and you're able to be more marketable and all.
Right.
So how do you think you can help yourself pass through those challenges? What can you do to make a difference?
Yeah, that's kind of really what I want to know is how can I do something that makes this feel less hard, going to the job I don't like and I can't get the school done fast enough. I'm really anxious to be able to do the work. I'm not sure. I guess one of the things I've thought of is stopping that job to give myself some room to really think about how to make a next step. I almost feel like I don't have enough time to make a change because I'm stuck busy. I'm spending all these hours at work and I've even had to kind of like push for work. Like typically they assign us a caseload, and I've said I have openings, and they didn't have any work for me to do,
Okay.
and that falls on me as my responsibility. So I kind of feel stupid for staying in this job because I'm almost having to work at keeping the job.
So are you not saying that if you had made a move earlier than this, you probably would have gotten something better?
I don't think that that's the case. It's just more like I'm wondering, like, why am I staying in a
No,
job?
because you're blaming yourself, and then you don't have an option.
Yeah.
You're blaming yourself, and you don't have an option. It's not as if you passed the job for this and kept this one.
Yeah, right.
So it's not.
Right.
So it's not your fault. I mean, you just want to keep your head above waters, so you need a job.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I mean, what do you do for fun? I mean, something to distress you, because it seems like you're consumed with the stress you're going through on your job, not being happy.
I don't have much time. I mean, spending time with my family is really important to me. So I have kids at home, and I have a daughter in college, and so I try to connect with her. You know, I write letters. I send her kind of care packages. That's fun for me to think about something that would be surprising
To her.
You know, I can make something that I know she'd like to eat and send it to her, or send her something that she does art. So sometimes I send her materials just to kind of connect with her. And my boys are in sports, and I try to make it to everything I can. I'm really proud of how hard they work. My youngest I'm really proud of him. He works hard in school. He does well academically, and he does well athletically. So that makes me feel really good.
That'll make you feel happy.
Yeah,
That's something positive
I feel proud. Right,
to look forward to.
Right. Yeah. We've had a lot of challenges over the years with my work being stressful and my husband's job changing. So my husband and I have had some stresses in our marriage, but we've really been working hard to push through things. We've been married for 25 years.
That's long.
And yeah, so we were kids when we met each other, and now we're in the middle of our lives.
That's high school sweethearts?
Not quite. We met in college,
okay.
But I'm actually his first girlfriend.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I had dated other people, but we're together.
Okay.
He has not. Yeah. So, you know, I feel like I always try to work on everything and be the best I can be. So when I go to this job and people don't appreciate me,
yeah, I mean that's like takes your self-worth and like.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't matter that I've worked on my marriage. It kind of doesn't matter that I've learned new skills.
Because you're not getting exactly what you want to.
Right.
To keep it going.
And then sometimes I think, well, why do I want to be recognized? Like, what is it about me where I feel like I need something positive? Like, why am I looking for that?
I think that's normal for every human being, because you've done the work, you want to be appreciated. You've put in the work.
Yeah.
So you want to be recognized. You want someone to appreciate what you have done. And you know you have so much to offer. It's just that you don't have the opportunity. I mean, it's just normal for every human being to want to push and want more and want better.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes when I talk with my friends at work, they kind of feel the same way. And they haven't left yet either. I think they're kind of in the same situation.
So it's not just only you.
Yeah, they're not happy. We commiserate and get together and talk about when we're frustrated with things that aren't going well, or you know, we kind of say, "Oh yeah, that's happened to me too," and I don't know.
But the good thing in your own situation is because of there's a light at the end of the tunnel because you're in school, and hopefully by the time you graduate, things will be different for you. You might find yourself in a profession you love, which is more challenging. So I think your eye should be on that prize. But before then, you have to be okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what seems so hard to me, is I'm wondering if I'm going to fall apart before I can get to the finish of this, because
you would make yourself not fall apart. You have to make it work for you. So, what are the things you like doing? I understand that you don't have the time, but maybe you could squeeze out some time, maybe once a week, once in 2 weeks. Just do some fun things that will distract you. You know, that would, I think the fact that you have something going on should be encouraging, because it's not all your colleagues that have something going on for them. Some of them feel the way you feel, but they might not have the choice of saying, I'm graduating next year.
Right.
So it's like they're stuck where they are, there's no hope. You have hope. So I think it's one step. You've done something well for yourself. But then how do we get to that place where you can survive before you get to the light at the tunnel?
Yeah, and
so
that's what I'm worried about. Yes. That's what I'm worried about.
So what do you normally, how do you relax?
I like to go for walks.
Okay.
And I try to build that into every day. I kind of decompress a little bit, but oftentimes I'm thinking about school or thinking about work, as I'm walking. I feel like I'm a creative person and I like to have hobbies and things. I'm just double checking, sorry. But it's really hard to do them because I feel like I don't have
because you're distracted. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many things going on
Right.
within you and all.
And that's kind of what I've wondered too, is I have my old job, I have some new work that I'm doing, I've got school, I've got my family, I've got my
There's a
daughter
lot
who's in
going on.
college, and I almost feel like I want nothing. Like some of the things that used to be good to do, like reading or doing hobbies, almost feel like it's more stuff to do, and I want.
Because you have enough going on already,
I do,
so you don't
yeah.
have where to fix those ones.
Yeah.
But you must do something. It's like supervision. You must do something to keep you distracted, something you love that would make you happy.
I think that's kind of the problem, is I don't really have something like that feels like real downtime, like a real recharge. Everything I do kind of has some sort of a product to it.
What would you have loved to do if you had the opportunity? What would you have loved to do?
I'd love to be able to do more gardening.
Gardening.
Mm-hmm.
That's gardening?
Gardening.
Behind your house?
In the dirt, flowers, vegetables.
Not taking vacation?
No, I
think you can achieve that. Because I thought you were going to say taking a vacation, going away, because that takes time, money, and everything.
Right.
But just right behind your house, I think is what you can put in your schedule. It's just a matter of determination. Oh, this is what I want to do. Just the way you have your schedule to go to work, take up all these challenges, you can just put in the garden there maybe once a week. It depends on how much time you think you can give. Maybe 1 hour. I don't garden, so I really don't know much about gardening.
Yeah.
So, but if you just take up once a week, just go water the
I really want to do it, and I kind of got started on doing it, and then we had a lot of bills that came up, and I've had some health things that have gone on, and it cost us a lot of money, and so it's been hard to feel like I have money to spend on something that isn't, really a basic need. So I got all the pots out, and I prepared. I actually do composting. I take our trash and I compost it so that I have really organic material to plant things. But at the beginning of the season, I went and looked at flowers, and I just didn't feel like buying them to plant in the pots.
So what you want in your garden is just flowers?
I like doing vegetables too. I like that. I just kind of was worried that I wouldn't have time to take care of them also. I didn't want to start something that felt like one more thing I have to take care of.
Okay, the responsibility.
Yeah, typically that's something I really love and I enjoy.
So does it require so much attention?
I think I felt like it was going to be something that I couldn't commit to.
So why don't we start with a small space? Nothing too big.
Yeah.
Maybe like a foot or something or whatever. You just have a small garden there and we start from there. You said you love walking.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could split your time in between walking and attending to the garden.
Yeah, I wish that I could, but there was something about it that kind of made me feel sad that I would be giving up something else I needed to do.
What will you be giving up?
Taking care of other people.
But that's taking care of you. You have to be sound for you to take care of other people.
Right.
So that's taking care of you, because when you take care of you, you can take care of other people better.
Right. But I guess I feel like it's really hard to think that I'm somebody who can be taken care of, and that, I don't know.
So you think you should be the macho? So you take care of everybody and nobody takes care of you?
I feel like that's how it's been most of my life, that when something happens, even when I did this group at work, I wanted to do it for me, so I'd have a chance to talk about things and feel better, and instead I feel like I end up taking care of everybody else, listening to their problems and helping them to problem solve.
I think the fact that you have thought that you're supposed to take care of people does not make it right, does not make it definite, does not make it certain. Things could change.
Yeah.
So why don't you try switching it around, take care of yourself, and see how you react?
I'm not even sure how to do that.
Why don't we take it baby steps with the garden first? There's so many ways to relax, but you've chosen something easy that is doable.
Okay.
And it's just behind your house. Maybe you start with some flowers, or you start with some seeds.
Yeah.
Maybe tomato, vegetable or whatever. You just start small. So the hours you use in going out for a walk, you can split it. You just go through them, you water them, and then you go away. I don't know much about gardening, but I could research for you and see the amount of time that is required to keep it going.
Well, that's the thing is, I like to do it for enjoyment, and I almost feel like it's not enjoyable if I have to think I only have 10 minutes.
Okay, so you want
it.
you want where you could sit the whole day,
Well,
like in the garden and then checking your plants.
I don't need a whole day. It's just kind of the idea is just letting go, and I feel like.
So if you're not doing gardening, what else would you want to do?
I like getting together with friends.
Okay, that's another one. At least you don't have, because with friends you don't have to work hard. You just go and you talk.
Right.
Maybe if you drink, have a few drinks.
Right.
And then go home. Maybe you can do that. Maybe get couples of friends where you rotate yourselves. Maybe your house this week.
Yeah,
or
I've been
2
so
weeks
busy
time.
with everything. I haven't really been able to think about inviting people over.
You see it as one of your chores.
Right.
Maybe, or you can get a couple of friends and say, I think many people are like you. Many people want to do the same thing, like meet up and talk about things. Just meet up and don't talk about family, don't talk about stress. Just talk about things. Maybe read books or watch a movie, you have some cocktails, whatever. Maybe 1 hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, I guess I'm so worried about making sure the house is just right. My husband really thinks that I have a lot of clutter and I'm not good at putting things away. So, I've got my school papers, I've got my work stuff, and so I kind of feel like I can never stop.
So why, if you can't meet in the house, maybe you can meet in a restaurant or a bar.
Yeah,
you do bars? Do you do restaurants?
I have sometimes.
It mustn't be something expensive. Maybe McDonald's, Burger King. Something small. Just sit there, have a coffee, Dunkin' Donuts, and just talk. Because there's nothing like relieving as talking with friends. You might not be saying anything that's important, but just talking and laughing and,
Sometimes I really like talking with my daughter. I think of her as a friend, but I don't get to spend much time with her
because
now she's away.
And then you are busy too.
And that's been really hard. I kind of miss her. She used to be a person who I could kind of just relax with or complain to, and she would always understand exactly what was going on.
Have you tried maybe Skyping with her?
I haven't. I'm not much of a computer person. It kind of feels strange to me.
That's very easy. Like, look at us now on the video.
Yeah.
Skype is the same thing. You just set up Skype. It's easy, just your email and all.
Okay.
So you just call, she appears and you appear, you're talking like this. There's so many ways you can, talk with somebody without the person being around, and it's like you see yourselves all the time. Yeah. So maybe you can set up Skype. I guess you
pointed out a bunch of things that I could do that I didn't think to do.
You could set up a Skype. That's so easy. It does not cost you nothing. Right. You can do it from your phone. You can do it from your laptop. You can do it for any of these electrical devices.
But don't you think it's kind of weird because there's like a delay and
there's no delay. There's no delay with Skype. Once you dial the person and the person is at the other end and the person has the same device like a laptop, she comes up and you come up. Hey, mom. Then this, then she can show you things and you can show her things.
She FaceTimed me once because she's in a new apartment and she wanted to show me the apartment. And it felt really weird. I don't know. It was kind of like...
because that was new.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time you keep doing it all the time, it becomes like second nature. You're used to it. You look forward to it.
Maybe.
Because when she called, like you said, she was showing the apartment, you can tell her, oh, I did this. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. You take the phone or the laptop around the room, you're showing her stuff. So it's like you are together. So these are the things you might consider doing and see if it would work for you. But I think they would work. One of them at least should work. We have the option of gardening. We have the option of hanging with friends. If we can't do it in our house, we can do it at a restaurant, maybe Dunkin' Donuts, nothing too expensive. Where you spend like $10 each and you have a good laugh. You take a drink and you go home. And then we can try the Skype.
Right.
I think the Skype...
We're at half an hour.
Because the Skype is cheap. I think the Skype, and you love talking to your daughter, you see her as a friend.
Right.
So I think we can start with that. We don't need, because that of the friends, you have to like call up some friends to see those who are ready to meet with you at where you are.
Right.
Then that of the gardening, you still have to spend some money. But that of Skype, after your day is over, you're lying down on your bed. You can make the call. You can even be on break here in class.
Right.
You can just go to the bathroom, go to the hallway, hi, then you're talking. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So at least we're just looking for ways that you can manage your situation till you graduate. You know, something to distract you from the challenges you're having on the job and all
Right.
that.
So it's really my fault that I didn't come up with these ideas and fix it.
Well, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
You know.
I
So
didn't think about, what can I do, and I don't
but
know.
you are the one that will have to make it happen.
Yeah.
Because you see, your happiness lies with you and not with someone else. Nobody knows how you feel. You know how you feel. Nobody knows what you want. They might think they know, but you know exactly what you want.
Yeah, I guess
So you have to make it work for you. And then if you are not in a good space, you can't even help the people you say you help.
Right.
So you must think of yourself first.
Yeah, there have been some days where I'm just so stressed out by everything that I kind of feel like the last thing I want to do is go to work. I just want to do nothing, and so probably I'm not doing the best work I could do because it just feels like there's no, as soon as there's a break, I have to do schoolwork, and
It's challenging.
I was
A lot
doing
to do.
something with a friend. We were writing and sending pieces back to and forth, and I didn't have time to read what she sent me, and it just felt like, oh no, I didn't do that either. And yeah.
Maybe you can take less. Does your husband help you in any of these things, like at home and?
Well, that's one of the things we've really tried to work out is how to balance all the responsibilities in the house, because I think I was taking on most of things and he was generally working. He's always worked full time, and I've worked kind of like part time or 3/4 time because he often works in Boston, and where we live, it's not easy for him to get home.
Commuting, yeah.
Right. So if the kids need a ride or if they
So
need an
that
activity,
falls on
that
you.
falls on me.
So you have to be around.
Yeah, so I tend to kind of work earlier and come home earlier, and he goes in and he just has a longer day. Yeah. But we've been talking more about kind of splitting some of the things that aren't like particularly mine or particularly his.
That's balancing
Yeah,
stuff.
I'd wanted the kids to do more, but that just ends up being me telling the kids to do
So that's
things
more work for
which
you,
is
like
more work for
reminding
me.
them.
Exactly, right. So it's helped a lot to talk to him about like splitting the taking care of the kitchen stuff, the dishes,
household
the
chores.
cleaning, right. And I've got each of the kids pretty much doing their laundry stuff, so that's less.
That's out of the way.
Right, so I've really tried to find some things that aren't just me, like they're things that anybody could do and let go of stuff, so that helps.
Why can't the kids do dishes?
They could. I guess they could.
They don't want the teenagers.
Well, I get a lot of arguing. I washed my dish. I'm not going to wash her dish. Or I only had one bowl. You're the one who had salad and plate. Why do I have to do twice as much work?
No, typical teenagers.
And I don't have that much time with them. So I really don't enjoy arguing with them. It's almost easier for me to just say, let me take care of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, I don't have time for me to do something that would be fun because there's just so much stuff to do. But probably they need to do more.
Well, do they know how stressful this is for you?
What's stressful is all the things I'm carrying,
That's inclusive too.
Right.
Because you want to come back home after working and do chores.
Yeah.
To mean that the chores are all done.
Right.
So that saves you some time. So if they are contributing their own part, that will be some portion taken off your plate.
Yeah. I mean, definitely that's what I want. When I come home, the last thing I want is to see a new set of work tasks.
Yes.
And I used to kind of like them. I kind of like washing dishes.
That
It's
was
warm
before.
water. But nowadays I look at them and I'm like, here they are again. Like, when do I get to take a break? When do I get to do just nothing for a few minutes? And I think the only time is when I go to bed and fall asleep. Is the kind of when I'm finally not doing something. So.
And these are not kids you can take things away from for them to do things.
Yeah, that just ends up hurting me. Like, sometimes I've taken away their phone or we've decided they don't have permission, but then I can't call them to say, what time do I need to pick you up, or did you get there safe?
Okay.
So it ends up being a punishment for us. I've talked more about, like with my younger son, he's 13, so he's a young teenager. I can kind of get him to earn things. Like, I need you to do these 5 tasks, and then you can have video
Okay.
time, or you can, you can go to your friend's house or whatever. And I make him like a list, and that tends to work. And I've done the same thing for my older son, but he just got a job.
Okay, he's
and
busy too.
That's a really good thing, but that means he has less time at home. Right, he's busy. It's good because I think it's really important for him
Get exposure.
to have the experience. Yeah, he's had a lot of learning issues and a lot of mental health issues, so I'm really happy he has a job. I wasn't sure he'd really be able to get to that place because he's had so many problems. But he's got a job. He likes it. After the first week, he was sort of like, whoa, it's too much work. I think I'm going to quit. And I went, oh, no. But he stayed with it, and he's been doing it a couple months now. And I feel like it makes him more responsible. He shows up on time. He even goes in early sometimes. He's been given more responsibility at work because I think they see him as a really hard worker. Yeah, he's a hard worker, and they kind of have acknowledged that.
That's great.
So that makes me feel like
Happy.
something's working.
Yeah,
something's working.
So you see, things are working too.
Yeah, they are.
So there's just one more thing for you to take care of yourself.
Right.
I think if you're able to find time for that, it will be a lot easier for you.
Well, I think I'm the only one who can really do that, and that's something I haven't
done.
Right. I've been so busy doing everything else that I've said.
You have to learn to do it. You have to learn to do it.
Yeah.
So, with what we just mentioned now, which one do you think you can do?
Gosh. You had some really good ideas. As I say, 36. We have like 4 more minutes. Well, a little bit longer. I think I definitely should find something that's just me time that I set aside, and I do best if I do something on a regular basis. Like if I say Saturday is the day I'm gonna, then I'm more likely to stick to it. Whereas if I say, oh, I didn't have time today, I'll just like push it off.
Okay, so you must have like a scheduled time for it.
I think I have to kind of promise myself that this is what I'm gonna do, and it's just gonna be me time.
Okay.
Because otherwise I'll start doing a chore, or I'll say, oh, I'll do that after and then I won't do it.
So amongst the 3 things we've mentioned, which of them do you think you can do?
I don't know, we talked about the gardening. I'm just kind of worried it's hot and it's late in the season. I was almost thinking like maybe I could wait till fall comes.
Okay. When we talk about meeting with friends, it might not be 3 friends, it might just be 1.
That's a good way to think about it.
I mean, because it won't be easy to have someone who has the same schedule with you.
Yeah.
To be able to meet up with you. So maybe just one, start with one person.
Yeah, well, some of the people I studied with before, I wanted to try to get together with them on a weekend or something, and we all have busy lives, but I was hoping to kind of say, hey, we keep not meeting, let's do that walk, or let's get together for coffee. Yeah, one of the things that happened is one of my friends was the woman who offered me that job. And we used to get together for coffee kind of like once a month, and I haven't done that because after she offered the job to someone else, it's been really hard for me to stay friends with her.
You feel betrayed.
I felt totally betrayed, and I've known her a really long time, and I'm friends with her whole family, and that was a really big loss for me. It was something that happened that felt personal and professional, and I almost wish that it had never happened. Yeah.
Because you would have had your friendship, still had your friendship today.
Right. And, I have connected with her, but it's just not the same. It just feels like it can't ever be the same again because I lost this sense of trusting her.
Okay.
So I think that's part of what's missing in my self-care.
Okay, and that's the only person you think you can do that with?
No, she's not the only person. I think it was just kind of a loss.
But you can make new friends. Maybe look for one of these social things around your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just go online and put your city and see what they have going on.
Well, I do have some new relationships. I've started to do some new activities and some other things that my family has done. So I have met some new people, and I've gone out with them. I have another friend that I've known for a really long time, and she and I have been talking about maybe having a job together in the future. She's an LICSW, so she has her license and can work independently. And she works with someone who's a licensed mental health clinician, and that's the same program I'm doing. Okay. So we're hoping that when I finish, maybe all 3 of us could be in practice together in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, which would be really exciting. So last week, we all got together and got coffee and kind of talked about
possible
what works, what's hard, like what things have to happen. One of the women is a supervisor for something, and so I was asking her kind of like what I needed to do what she's doing, and she was able to give me some ideas. I think she gave me some perspective on what to expect, which was helpful. She also gave me an idea for a book, and so it's on my list of things to get. And it's a book that's about work, and I almost feel like I could read that, and that might give me some new ideas. I forget the name of it. It's something about like choosing your theoretical orientation.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like a textbook, but I almost feel like it's where I'm at. It's where I'm thinking like, what am I going to do?
Into
yeah, exactly. Because I am at a transition. I've had a bunch of transitions really, and I'm looking for things that can kind of help me feel like I'm steering the right direction.
Okay.
That'll make me feel a little bit more confident about what I'm doing.
Okay. Okay. Sounds interesting. So we're going to work on 3 things. Whichever one that comes first, whichever one that's easy for you, but anything that would make you do something for yourself that will give you a me time.
Right.
A me time. So when next you come, you're going to tell me the changes you've made in those areas.
Okay.
So one of them, the Skype. That one is cheap and free.
Okay.
Like I said, you don't need an extra time for that.
Right.
You can even be driving.
Right.
And you're talking to her and she's seeing you.
Okay.
You can even retire for the day after a long day.
Right.
Lying on your bed trying to fall asleep.
Yeah, and she doesn't care that I'm in my pajamas
So
or whatever.
that's what I'm saying. So that's somebody you can talk to anytime. You can just call her, hey, how you doing?
Right.
And you can just talk and, at least that one. Then the garden one, you said you could hold on because of the weather.
Yeah, I think that's still something I want to try to be able to do. It's something that makes me feel good. I did gardening a lot with my family when I was growing up.
So that brings you memory too.
It's just relaxing for me. It doesn't feel as much like work. It feels more like I know what I'm doing and it's fun and it's like the sensory activity of good smells.
Okay.
I love when I get to pick a vegetable that I grew.
Okay,
it's so much.
And cook that yourself.
So right, exactly. It tastes better. It tastes so much better.
You're sure of
right.
it. You know where it's coming from.
Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah. So the third one is to call up a friend.
Yeah.
A friend could be somebody you just met, could be somebody you've met before. We're going to start with one friend. And maybe then it could progress.
Okay.
So are these things you think you can do?
Well, I'm going to really try to think about it. It's been helpful to just kind of think more about some of the things that have been bothering me. You know, like by talking to you, I realized how much I miss my daughter, and I realized that some of the pressure is like my husband having expectations for me, and kind of those things maybe I need to talk to them about. And they're not really about work, but I kind of thought it was about work. But there's really some other things that are kind of all interconnected about how I feel about myself and how much time I have. So I think I'll try to talk with them about maybe splitting, a little bit more of the chores so that I can go
Yes. But why is your husband not, if he's in between jobs now and maybe he's more at home, why do you think he's not helping out?
Well, he is back at work now.
Okay, good.
But I don't know what it is. We just kind of seem to fall into these habits. I know one thing is that because he's lost his job a couple of times, he works really hard because he's afraid that this job won't last. And he's really wanting to commit to the job, so they'll see him as a hard worker,
reliable,
right. And I don't think it was anything that was his fault. Because when the last job, the company got sold, and when the new company bought it, they had a president and they had a vice president, and so they eliminated all these positions. Right, they had their own people. But I think he has that worry because I don't make very much money, even though I work. I'm kind of like you in the human services. You don't make a lot of money, so no matter how hard I work and study, I only got so much. And it's hard to pay all the bills. So I don't know. I think it's a transition for us again.
Do you think now with this new job things might change?
Well, I was hoping. I said to him the other day, I really liked it when you did the dishes, and the next morning there weren't any there. But now it's the afternoon, and you went to work, and there were still breakfast dishes, and I come home and I have to do the dishes, and then you go work. So I did talk to him about it. I think it seems kind of silly, but it really is literally a big thing.
It's good to talk. It's good to talk.
But I see it as something that's right there in front of us as something that is not working. I see it as a reminder of, wow, these things need to be done. And somehow he sees it and goes and does something else.
Man.
Right.
It doesn't make it right, but that's...
Right. And I know there's things that I do that are like that. I feel like I have to clean things, that I can't have dirty things. Like I need to clean the dishes and clean the rugs, but then I don't always organize.
Then you are the clean ones.
Yeah.
You're the clean ones. And another thing again, have you thought of maybe getting someone to come clean for you, maybe once a week or twice a
I
week?
did think about that, and I even thought about that, like to get somebody to do our lawn. 'Cause that's something we have to do. That's kind of silly, just like cutting the grass
because
or
of
raking the leaves.
Yeah, that will take some stress off you. Maybe
Yeah.
get some cleaners, or maybe hire someone. There's some people who go around.
Right.
You just pay them. You just come clean your house from head to toe. Maybe
Right.
once in 2 weeks or once a month.
Yeah.
So you don't have those clutters.
Well, I was thinking about that. Like that would give me more time to concentrate on
Yes,
school.
yes,
and
yes,
I'm
so-
doing so many things that I feel like I can't even. Like I said when I started in here, I don't even know what to do next because I feel like nothing's working. But maybe there's some things I can do that kind of don't matter, like getting a
Because
house
you might
cleaner.
find out the lesser the clutter, you'll be happier too.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
I
you-
feel like I can't organize things because I'm so busy,
Busy, yes,
washing.
you don't
know,
have
the
the time,
linens.
yeah.
The linens have to be
And
washed.
it never stops. It's a cycle.
Right,
Just keeps
right,
going.
right. And I think that's why I've been so frustrated. As soon as I clean up, I see it again, and I
Yes.
still feel like I can't get ahead
Yes.
to do what I really want to do. So yeah, feels
So
like I'm
maybe
kind of
that's
trapped.
what you should look into. I understand finance might be a problem now, but maybe you could consider that in the near
Yeah,
future.
but even if I talk to people in the family and we kind of think about doing
put your
turn
hands together.
taking,
Okay, you know,
working hard for one another.
Yes, I think
You know,
so.
my younger son can probably do more than I ask him to do.
Okay.
So I can probably get him to do a little bit more.
Okay, I think that will do. That will do.
Yeah. All right, it's been really helpful talking
Oh, it's
to
nice
you.
meeting you, Miss Denise.
So we're gonna see you next week.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see you next week.
Tuesday at
Okay.
6 p.m.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's still a good
So,
time for
so
me.
please do those things I asked you to do, whichever one you think works for you.
Okay.
We have to start something so that when next I see you, you're telling me something. I'm seeing a smile on your face.
I'll try. I'll at least
Please
try to get
Please
some
try.
things.
Take
All
care.
right,
Thanks
so
for stopping
much.
by.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh my God. Oh my